5 minutes past 2 from the studios of Adabite 8.9 FM. Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Roundtable. My name is Dwayne Daniels. Okay, in January 2010, Nigeria entered into a 20-year gas and supply processing agreement with Process and Industrial Development Limited, otherwise known as P&ID. And I'm sure you must have heard about that, probably read it in the newspaper or watch it on TV. The company was founded by two Irishmen, Michael Quinn and the late Brendan Cahill. The contract specified that the company was to refine associated natural gas into non-associated gas. 85% of these refined gas will be handed to Nigeria free of charge for power generation and for industrialization. The remaining 15% and the byproduct therefrom will go to P&ID for export. And Nigeria will still benefit from the proceeds of this export because Nigeria had a 10% stake in the company. On its part, the company was to build a facility to refine the gas in Adiabo or Dupani local government area of Cross River. And then the Nigerian government was expected to build a gas supply pipeline to the facility. And then Nigeria was expected to also be supplying 150 million standard cubic feet of gas to the facility on a daily basis. And this was expected to increase along the way to 400 million standard cubic feet of gas. Well, the project was signed on behalf of the Nigerian government by then Minister of Petroleum Resources, late Riwa and Lukman, while late President Muhammadu Umaru Yar'Adua was on a medical trip in Saudi Arabia. Well, Yar'Adua later died. Riwa also died in 2014, the minister who signed that contract. Well, there are claims that the Attorney General, that's the Minister of Justice at the time, Michael and Duaka, did not vet the contract terms. Well, the federal government, as was expected, as stated in the contract terms, did not build a pipeline. And the company claimed that it has spent about $40 million on the project. They also claimed that the refusal of the federal government to build the pipeline breached the contract. But Nigeria also argued that on its part, the company neither acquired any land, not to talk of even building a gas facility. But in 2012, that company activated the arbitration clause in the contract and filed a case of breach of contract against Nigeria in London. P&ID then sought a compensation for loss of what it calls potential income. But the Nigerian government, as I stated earlier, argued that how could they have lost any income when it did not even build any facility? The company then argued that Article 6, sub-Article B of that contract did not state that they had to build that facility as a precondition. At this point, you may ask yourself why this was not even included in the contract in the first instance. Why did the federal government not ensure that it was included in that contract, that company had to build a facility before a pipeline had to be built for gas supply to that facility? Initially, P&ID asked for $1.5 billion as compensation, but the Nigerian government negotiated it downward to around $850 million. But at the time, the Jonathan administration was asking for another downward review, and then in 2015, Jonathan lost the election. Then in came the Buhari administration. The P&ID guys said they were waiting for Nigeria to call them on what they agreed on, the $850 million, but it did not receive any call. So because of that, they had to continue with the case. And so in July 2015, it got the award of $6.6 billion for loss of income against Nigeria and another $2.3 billion in interest. So the company went further after that to institute recognition and enforcement proceedings in the UK and the US, and it won in both countries. What this means is that it can seize any of the assets of Nigeria in two of these countries. And don't forget that some of Nigeria's foreign reserves were also warehoused in these countries. Well, the company filed that the court should dismiss Nigeria's objection. Well, recently in the UK, the court dismissed Nigeria's objection, and then it ruled that the company can go ahead and seize any of Nigeria's assets in this country. But the court in the US has refused to dismiss Nigeria's objection. Well, if this goes on, that means Nigeria's asset in the UK, total $9.6 billion, will be lost. Let me break it down for you. $9.6 billion is 3.5 trillion naira, and this is 20% of Nigeria's foreign reserves. So this is huge money. If this is not resolved, then Nigeria had to pay. If Nigeria have to pay this money, is a huge sum, and definitely economic analysts have been saying that this will have a negative impact on Nigeria's economy. I know you certainly have questions, as do I. Let me welcome my studio guest, Barrister Wale Abimbola. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
I have another lawyer in the studio as well, human rights lawyer, Moraki Ogele. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much, our listeners. You are welcome to this program again.
I'm also expecting Ibabo, who is an accountant, so because we'll also be looking at the financial implication of this judgment. Let me begin from Barrister Wale Abimbola. I'm sure you must have also listened to the federal government saying that this judgment is unconscionable, it's punitive, and that there were shady deals. It was not properly signed because the Attorney General at the time said he did not vet the contract terms, and so the government is saying that were people in the past government. If I listened to Lai Mohammed saying that there was a claim that anytime the Nigerian's foreign reserves increases, that some orcs, use that word, within the government will come around and then bring up a lot of dubious contracts to just make sure that they get a piece of the pie, so to say. How did we get into this mess? You're a lawyer. How did Nigeria get into this mess?
Yes, let me start by congratulating Adaba on this brand new studios.
Thank you very much.
It's a beautiful one. Yes, how did we get here? It's the same way we need 4 years to go to an Olympic Games and get there and win nothing. It is the same way our roads are the way they are today. It is the same way we have several assets that are abandoned all over the country. It is the same way a government goes, another one comes in, abandons everything the government has left in place. I think we got here because of our inherent unseriousness. See, Nigeria is the only country that I know where you freely enter into an agreement and you are reluctant in observing the terms of that agreement. Year in, year out, we hear of ASU federal government agreement. There is a law that is now being observed in its breach. The law, the Minimum Wage Act, which has been signed into law by the president himself. And so we are here because of our inherent, like I said, unseriousness. This thing started during that. When Nigeria was headless as it was. Thank God that Ogele is here with all of those who was on the streets, to compel the National Assembly to invoke what has now been known as the doctrine of necessity. To make Nigeria have a head. Because as at then, the Vice President Jonathan could not exercise presidential powers. And as such, many people in government began to take opportunity of that interregnum, as it were, to execute different kinds of contracts to their own advantage. I had a professor of law who taught me the law in the University, who once said that Nigerians are even in the habit of trading away Nigeria during the signing of treaties. I read an interview by the late Professor Sam Aluko, where he said it is an irony that everywhere in the world it is the creditor that goes under the debtor. But in Nigeria, you see officers of the Federal Ministry of Finance, because they want extra code, they will go to IMF to go and remind them that we are still owing them. See, all these things, we are here, we are where we are, because when Yar'Adua died, unfortunately, Jonathan became president. The contract was signed under Yar'Adua. the dispute arose under Jonathan.
And he was negotiating.
The award was given under Buhari. We allowed things to lie low instead of looking for means to settle out of court. We decided to go to the Federal High Court in Nigeria, forgetting that we have started in the contract that
Nigeria was even represented on the arbitration.
The United Kingdom arbitration law will regulate any dispute that arises therefrom. And so we decided to begin to play games like we do here, forgetting that we are not dealing with Nigerians this time. We are dealing with people.
Do you think it was even right in the first instance? Nigeria was to build a pipe supplying, a gas supply pipeline to that facility. This was a facility that was not built, and a facility for which land was not even acquired in the first instance. Shouldn't the federal government have ensured that it was indicated in that contract in the first instance to make sure that if you are not building this facility, where do I construct this pipeline to?
Recall that the contract was a 20-year-old contract entered into 2010, and that the federal government was, by the contract, required to ensure that pipelines and other infrastructures were installed, an arrangement made with third party to deliver gas, to P&ID to process. In other words, the contract executives that Nigeria that P&ID's performance is dependent on Nigeria's performance, and therefore.
So that was why we lost.
Yes, that was why we lost, because you cannot. They cannot perform without us performing. The pipelines must have been made. The information must have been provided.
But $9.6 billion.
Yes.
Now, what they got is the income they said they will make over a 20-year period.
Yes.
A 20-year period. Of a contract.
Expenses.
Expenses. And what they would have made in 20 years, over a 20-year period, minus our own gas and all of that.
Yes.
Now, this is fair.
Are you talking morality here? You are talking law. Let's leave morality out of it. Purely there was an agreement to start with. Look, we are saying that it is not fair that they will lose anticipated incomes, and that we should pay for incomes not yet earned. While we also have lost an opportunity of generating some megawatts in those 20 years.
And even creating jobs.
Due to our own seriousness, due to the inherent corruption in our system, due to the factor.
To help my learned colleague, let me tell you something. There is no moral in law. We signed an agreement.
Pure and simple.
There are terms stated therein. What you are going to do, or what you are not going to do. They perform their own side of this contract. Now they are saying, look, Nigeria, you have breached this contract. We have spent a month on this contract. Please pay us the
CBN. I heard that the CBN is even saying that this guy did not bring any money into Nigeria. Let me ask you another question. Let me ask you another question.
Okay.
If you said fine, there's no morality in law, I agree, but on the Nigerian side, don't you think there should be a clearinghouse for all the agreements, especially the international ones that we enter into, which should be the Ministry of Justice? What do you think went wrong?
My colleague has expressly, analyzed this. His analysis is as clear as summer sky. What is going on in this country is that efficiency is lying carelessly. Let me tell you, this is an agreement entered into by two parties. When they were in consensus at them, there is no argument about this. They signed the agreement. The Attorney General, or maybe the people of the
oil minister.
You see, they signed this agreement. And let me tell you, thereafter, you know that government is a continuous institution. When I come to the government today, I inherit both liability and asset.
Now you get handover notes.
Thank you very much. So I see no reason. I'm sure if the president under which this agreement is made is alive, he should have carried that agreement to letter. because he's a man who believes in rule of law.
A fine gentleman.
He's a fine gentleman. He's a man who believes in agreements.
Now, if you listen to the back and forth between the Jonathan administration and the Muhammadu Buhari administration, trying to pass blames and counter blames and all of that.
Let me tell you something. It's a flimsy excuse. Let me tell you that. It's a flimsy excuse. They have no reason to say that. You see, they are now politicizing.
Because before Jonathan lost the election, there was an agreement to pay $850 million for as compensation.
Yes.
And then Jonathan was still trying to negotiate a downward review. And then Buhari came in. And the guy said they did not get any call from government. And so because of that, they had to continue with the law.
Government should have continued with that level, from that level. That look less.
But now the Muhammadu Buhari administration is claiming that I diligently pursued everything.
No, let me tell you, I have told you, this is just flimsy excuse. It holds nothing. Now let me tell you, the system, judicial system in this country is quite different from judicial system all over the nation. That is what is wrong in this country. Let me tell you, I have many experiences about government agreement. There are briefs now on my table. The government signed an agreement. They are now backing now from that agreement. No, I told the judge, I told the lawyer, so you cannot do this because you cannot interpret what has been coded, what has been written black and white. You cannot interpret it. What we are saying is this, of which I subscribe to what he has submitted so far, is that efficiency is like carelessly. And our government all over, they are so very, I don't know, they find joy in breaching agreement, like as rightly said.
Okay, now, if you look at the processes leading up to the signing of this contract, would you agree with the federal government's position that these processes were shady?
It is too late to complain. My brother, it is now too late to complain. I with Adaba FM, we signed an agreement 10 years ago. Adaba FM is now complaining. After we have signed everything, it's too late. So either bad or either good, either best, is gone forever. We just have to toe the line of our agreement we have signed with them. Otherwise, this is what we are facing now. So what we are facing is that I pity this country, because the amount awarded right now is almost 20% of our foreign reserves. By the time now you garnish it or you level execution against our,
that's 3.5 million,
almost trillion. So that is why you say the economists are saying that if they are going to perfect that one, then the whole economy of this country is in problem. And my problem, what we are saying is this, that there is no morality in law, there is no sentiment in law. Remove sentimentality. They have signed the agreement almost 20 years ago or 19 years ago. They have not done anything. It's when now those people now they enforce their right. They are now is fraudulent, is do this, is do that. No, it's not a fraudulent agreement. The agreement, like I said, is as clear as Thomas. But
what you see, what you could see, or what you could read about this agreement, do you think it was probably designed to fail from the start?
I was part and parcel of that agreement. But what I'm saying, there are clauses, there are here and there that they have done it, and there is a lacuna in that agreement. How will you say who is to build that
the facility?
Thank you very much. So there is a lacuna now. That is why I say that agreement, either good or bad now, is a good agreement. It may be bad in this country, but over there in Irish, it's a good agreement. So they have to follow the agreement in total. If they have breached this agreement, we have to pay that money. That's what I'm saying. Look, let me tell you, we have to be taught a bitter lesson.
Yes.
One way or the other. You cannot be doing this in this country. Our government, not even Buhari alone, all of them, they have been breaching rule of law, breaching agreement, breaching the constitution. That's what elongated to that Irish land again. So we have to pay for this.
Okay, quickly, let's listen to the position of government as espoused by the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Quickly, we'll come back, we'll continue.
Yeah, he's a politician.
We have one of the finest lawyers in our Ministry of Justice, and one of the most patriotic lawyers in the Ministry of Justice. But some of these decisions, most of them were actually political decisions. And it was not unusual to even see the Ministry of Justice overruled sometimes. because people have political interest, they have in the economic selfish interest. We are even ready to sit down. We are willing to also sit down with PNID and negotiate. Why do you take this matter to the highest level? That's also both legal, diplomatic, and otherwise. Because it's not because we want to save money, but because we think it's just unfair. It is unconscionable. It's punitive. And what kind of, I'm short of words to really describe, what the country is going through now. You don't inflict this kind of injury on the country and its people for your own selfish reasons. But like I said, please, the government is doing everything possible to get the safe execution and also to, set aside this award. But of course, at the end of the day, we'll sit down with PNID and, arrive at something that we think is reasonable.
Mr. Agbabo, you're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let me quickly ask you, what's your take on all of this, on this PNID brouhaha with the Nigerian government?
Thank you very much. What I see in this brouhaha is dishonesty, inability to put the interest of Nigerians above primordial, sectional, or political interest. In a situation where the interest of the people is not placed above this sectional interest, there is bound to be problem. It is unfortunate that Nigerians or Nigerian leadership has not learned anything in the leadership positivity of Nigerian society. What I mean by this is this: Nigerian leaders should have learnt by now that they have to take into consideration the interests of the Nigerian people rather than politicizing issues. A government will leave, or a party will leave government, and they want to separate itself entirely from the previous ones. There's no way Nigerians and Nigeria can ever make it in this situation. For example, government is a continuum. Therefore, when a particular party or particular government lapses, the other one takes both the reliability and the asset. Now, if, for instance, the contract had sailed through, will they not take the glory and using the gas or whatever they can pay for the next election? I mean, there are two ways to think. Yes, the other one, or no,
you lose.
Now, if the contract has sailed through and the gas installation and all those things have been, wouldn't they be enjoying it? For example, it is on those states now. They were talking the other time when the new administration came into being. They were like saying the game was nothing. They were condemning it. But you can agree with me today that what they use most is the facility. Though, if they want to do many ceremony in government, at
some point it was even called doom.
Sorry?
At some point it was called doom. It was called doom. Okay. Let me quickly ask you. Now, the federal government, in all of these, you listen to Lai Mohammed, the federal government blames past administrations, which of course was led by the PEP for all of this problem. Now, before Jonathan exited the scene in 2015, he was negotiating a downward review from what was agreed, $850 million negotiation, and then Buhari came in, and the PNID guy said they waited for Nigeria's call and didn't get an hour to continue with their case until we got ourselves to this problem now, $9.6 billion. In all of these, we know that in Nigeria people are known to blame and counter blame and all of that. In all of this, who do you think carries the blame? The Yar'Adua administration, the Jonathan administration, or the Muhammadu Buhari administration?
It is
Let's put it where it belongs.
It is Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
Why do you say so?
That carried the blame. Unfortunately, Muhammadu Buhari-led administration had taken blame, shifting blame as stuck in trade. Unfortunately, when they said, when they were campaigning, they told us that all that the PDP had done was trash, and they were out to correct their anomalies. So let us agree that what the PDP had done is abnormal. So why is APC not correcting it, as envisaged by the people? Now, I tell you the other time that one of the problem, the same problem that happened during Jonathan or Yar'Adua era is still happening today. I mean, where some cabal will take over the reign of government from those that are originally elected to be the custodian of such mandate. You understand that, of course, nobody can may not fall sick or heal.
Let's not go political along. No, I'll come back to you. Let me imagine. Okay, I'm coming to you,
Hold on. Okay. What I'm trying to say is
with that line of thought, good.
No. There is no way we will not discuss issues. They are intertwined. Okay, I am not here to play politics. We are here to discuss issues, that affects the Nigerian people. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to say is that during the time that Yar'Adua fell sick, ordinarily the governors should have been given transmitted to the device. You understand the politics that were played. So in such a situation, there was
this kind of contract wouldn't have even come up in the first place.
There was lacuna.
Where the minister of petroleum.
Yeah, there was lacuna in government. So everybody was just doing what the was headless. It was a headless, directionless administration. It was a interregnum where there was no clear leadership. And institutions like that, everybody begins to do whatever they like. How do you imagine, my brother, that a nation as big as Nigeria could have entered into a contract arrangement without the office of the Ministry of Lukman, who probably of the northern
you see what they do. Let me correct you about that. What they do in the ministry is that they will enter into an agreement. They will now take it to Ministry of Justice to perfect
perfection.
Now, you see, you have rightly said. There is an organic leakage in that agreement. Oh yes, we appreciate this. But what we are still saying in a sense, the defense of Lai Mohammed
does not what I think Alhaji Lai Mohammed, speaking for the federal government, and Malami, the AG, can only, what are the things they are saying?
No, before you go, the AG now is saying that he won't even go into that again.
Yeah,
that he will sit down and look.
Yes.
And the thing will be aggravating.
The chief law officer of the country. You see, you were asking the question of who is to blame. I won't say Buhari administration is against it. I blame the Nigerian factor. Like I said the other time, there is something that our leaders, it's now obvious that our leaders in Nigeria don't use handover notes. Once you hand over to them, they just forget everything about the past and move on. There was a governor of this state that was described, a former governor of this state that was described as running an administration of proposals. There was no plan, just do the proposal and because the policy. So people don't look at handover notes. You recall, I think under President Jonathan, President Yar'Adua, the AG was Mr.
Michael
Anduaka. When he left, everything left with him. Then Adoke became the AG, and everything left like that. So this idea of blaming the past will not help us now. Like I said, unfortunate as this may look, I think it's good that let us learn our lesson in the very hard way. The lesson, this idea of always shifting blames. Then let us, if we are going to blame, I'm not saying people should not be blamed ultimately, but let us deal with the issues first. Let us fulfill whether we like it or not, Nigeria has lost.
Part of the thing that the Buhari administration has done now is to launch an a criminal investigation into how we got to is that the way to go? I remember reading. I remember reading Mago, the chairman of the FCC, saying that it's a daylight robbery.
My brother, let's if Magu or Malami, if they will come to investigate anything, let us first deal with the judgment that is staring us in the face. I saw the release of P and ID. They are not opposed, even at this point, to settlement. Let us exploit that. Whether we like it or not, look. Well,
because I read that when the court comes back from recess, this guy can go on as that season Nigeria as
yes. Which court? It's not Nigerian court. It's UK. Look. Do you know that you were
talking about the UK court? I'm not talking about.
You're talking about Nigeria's assets in the US and the UK. No, Nigeria is a signatory to many arbitration conventions and treaties. Any country that is a member of such that is subscribed to that, where we have our properties, they can go after it. So it is
not just in the
US and the UK. No, any country that is a signatory, to such treaties or conventions that deal with arbitration law, is wherever any of our commercial, let us of course
that is not defined
because the award and the judgment of court in the UK said commercial properties. So I think they will have to define what that again means. But basically, at this point, what we should concern ourselves with should be how to get out of this mess first
to resolve
before coming to deal with another matter.
Let me ask you this, Barrister Maraki Ogele. Part of the defense that the Nigerian government is putting up is that it is a sovereign state. But I read somewhere that when a country goes into a commercial agreement, it waives its sovereign immunity. Is that so?
You have answered it. I don't have anything to say.
The man the man who signed us.
Look, of Nigeria. What is there is that in a decent country, in a well-developed country, by now, the federal attorney general should have resigned.
Yes.
That efficiency is not active within the four corners of his office. That's the problem I have. And he has the I don't know how to use it. I want to say God to say that he will be sit down look in respect of this matter. And all something live around him. You know what I'm saying? There is no difference about being barbaric that proclaim our
defense after
life by this is just death. I mean, it's just messing after death. The only solution which my brother has provided is that we may settle out
of court.
That's the only solution.
Sorry.
There is nothing again we can do. Nothing, virtually nothing. So the issue of is barbaric, is fraudulent. Now sending millions of EFCC,
whether it is right or wrong, it is not wrong.
That's just paying to the gallery. That's what you're saying. Just paying to the gallery.
Sending millions of EFCC, ICPC, by anti-fraud, we are wasting
to prove
this time.
You want to say something?
Now, how have we gotten to this level? For example, if a contract fails, they are asking us to pay $1.5 billion or whatever, and we negotiated to 850. The government was also trying to negotiate further down, and they were out of government, and that one came. Now, what could have, my other brother said the other time, that when the Nigerian government does not use handover notes, because I'm sure it must have been included in the handover notes that this is where we this is where we are as far as this contract is concerned. So what exactly has happened that has not made the new government
when Buhari came in, there were no ministers for so many months, and
but government continues.
People were complaining that you need to approach the government, that people were saying we're waiting. If now we are seeing the results.
If ministers are not available,
because in July 2015 when that one was given, there were no ministers. There was not
2017,
2015.
July.
Now the issue is this: as long as the president has been inaugurated, You understand now? As long as he has been inaugurated, he has to put machinery in motion to make sure that his government, is properly and thoroughly run. Now, let me tell you this: the ministers are just heads of department, heads of their ministries. Those who even do the bulk of the work are the civil servants who are well rooted and well grounded in these bureaucratic.
Before you go now, now there's another system now. Our president is saying that
he report to the chief of staff.
Chief of staff.
Hold that thought, right? Hold that thought.
We are running parliamentary system.
Hold that thought. I'm coming to you.
Now, or collegiate president.
Now, what I want to say,
I don't think he said they should report. If we want to discuss anything with him, they should go through. But let's not bring that up. Let's not bring that up. This time I will continue with you.
I don't want us to play politics with the life of Nigerian people. I don't want us to play politics with the life of Nigerian people, because Nigerian people are suffering. They are deprived. They are degraded. So we must not do anything that will aggravate their deplorable situation. So what I'm trying to say is this: now we need to settle. Let us first of all address this issue before we continue to attack. The point I want to make here is that if they want to claim for gains that they would have made 20 years
over a 20-year period,
that means they are not very conservative. In accounting, you cannot continue to say this is what I intend to make in 20 years. Is not proper. You don't project profits in such manner. You even look at it that what if they lose? Because in business there can be a gain, there can be loss. How can they say that because of what they intend to gain that they must claim it? They should also be
morality here, my brother.
No, this is okay. Sorry, I want to ask a question. Okay. That if you say I'm talking morality.
No. Just a minute. I'm the one asking the question. I'll come back to you. Let me turn to Vice Amaki again. Now, I've had people say that this agreement was entered into by the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, a ministry that does not refine or own any gas. Now, some have asked why NNPC or subsidiaries like the Nigerian Gas Processing and Transmission Company and the Nigerian Gas Marketing Company were not involved, were not even mentioned in this contract in the first instance. But we all agree that we know, of course, that the Ministry of Petroleum Resources has supervisory role on all these agencies. What do you say about the position of those who argue that NNPC should have been included in that contract in the first instance?
You see, Dibeji, what we are facing in this country is just the system. Is the system whereby you do everything with impunity, without anybody calling you to answer to what you have done wrong. No way like that. Now, what you have mentioned, both who made the agreement, they are part and parcel of the government and NNPC. So there's no way now they can share the way their own responsibility of this agreement. So let me tell you, you are now working here every time. The GM is not always here. There is certain thing you can do on behalf of the general manager that you will, even though if you have done it without his consent, you just have to go to him, sir, this is what we have done so far. So what we are doing is that the people who enter agreement with the Irish firm, they must have
a relatively unknown firm, not even the popular firm in the first instance.
For you, but they know the firm. We don't know it, but we are now knowing the firm.
And we don't even know about the contract in 2010 when it was signed.
Now you are
don't know anything about many things now.
You are now reading the clauses therein. Are you now reading the clauses? The agreement has been exposed. You can now read here and there within the four corners of that agreement. What we are saying is that there's nothing bad, because you see, we have to check there's no checks and balances in this country again. Even we do, our president is now the Minister of Petroleum.
Yes.
By function now, if you make an agreement, are you going to say that because we have not got Minister of Petroleum, that agreement is not working? No, he's working. He has been elected. He has, selected all his processor. So anything done under him should be held responsible, and we are to held responsible because they are doing all this thing on our behalf. We cannot now approbate and reprobate at the same time. Look, the only solution
the settlement
is the settlement. Let's go over there. There's no. Look, let me tell you, they don't entertain preliminary objection over there. They will tell you go into real issue. That's what we have been doing here. No preliminary objection. That is why you sue government. Council for Ministry of Justice, they will come by way of preliminary objection. For almost 10 years, we go on that preliminary objection to Supreme Court everywhere. So we are now, we have learned, both lawyers, both administrators, we have learned from this agreement
in a hard way
that any time we enter an agreement with anybody, please, you just have to respect the clauses, the sections, and everything need to. And let me tell you,
and you need to vet it as well
before you
even
very
sign.
generous. If I were the lawyer of those company, I'm going to sue again for general damages. For general damages. Because they have put us in action to do certain things. That's what they are claiming now. They are so very generous. The issue of saying that they don't put our consideration, our interest. Our government is to put our interest into consideration.
Not the company, not the
farm. They want to make money. Now, if they want to make money, they made the agreement with us. So it's only the government of this country can say, look, these are the interests of my people. I just want to put it to consideration. Since they are few abandoned, and let me tell you, we don't know what even, whether a lot of water has gone under the bridge.
Whether they were
the rest is a story.
As it is now, as it is, when they have not taken 20%, we are already in trouble. So it doesn't need any accounting. It does not need any accounting with my own to let you know the consequence of the action. Because even as it is now, the problem is in a state of economic doldrum. The people are deprived. They cannot even feed themselves. There is no job. Unemployment is on the high side, and that's why you see rate of crime also on the high side. Because if there's unemployment, the rate of unemployment is directly proportional to rate of criminality. Obviously. So institutions like that, we are still battling with a lot of criminal activities, even when they have not deducted anything. So you can imagine the situation, what the situation will look like if they will have to go ahead and deduct such a whopping sum of money,
3.5 million, trillion naira.
It means that this generation is doomed.
Not all of us here.
So, but the question, what I don't know, because we don't have we didn't actually know what exactly the agreement looks like. But the question I'm asking, because what they are trying to tell us is that they want to get money, the gains of the 20 years, whatever. Now, the question I want to ask from the lawyers again is that did they actually also put it there that look, if you do not do this facility, that this 20 years.
That's the issue we've been talking about. The company argued in court that all of that were not stated as precondition.
Maybe I will give an example.
So that's the issue.
Maybe I will give an example.
They overlooked this.
I remember there was a governor again in the state. At least I know somebody who was appointed as a chairman of a statutory commission under the Yagagu government. And when the Nico government came on board, many of these people who have statutory appointments, which are tenured, what we go to them is you call them, come. My party people are out there, they are hungry. Please, I may not be able to work with you. Let us calculate what you will earn at the day that you have completed your term and paid off. So it is not unheard of. These things are predicated, are consequential upon the agreement itself. They must have committed resources into it. Possibly they took loans from somewhere, believing that with this also year we will have gotten profit and repaid. So you can't rule that, you can't rule it out. But they actually one thing I will give a very living example. Okay. Very recently there was one guy, Ebilano Salah, a footballer, that was signed from one French club in England to Cardiff in England. Yes. Before he could kick a ball, he died in an accident.
In a plane crash.
And the club went to Cardiff and said, look, pay us our money. We are not the one that killed him. Okay? So he has signed, it was a contract.
Contract is contract.
And you are the one bringing morality or emotions into this. The Nigerian system has landed us here. And unfortunately, it is a very good thing to us that we must learn from there.
If you look at aren't we too focused in this country? Aren't we too focused on emotions rather than the hard facts?
Yes, that's the problem we have. We appear to Nigerianize everything to the extent that our government officials are even making it look like a Nigerian affair. Look, whether it was with Rilwani Lukman, whether it was with NNNG or NNPC, it was purely between Nigeria as a sovereign state and the company.
This is what I'll say.
And whoever has signed, once that person has been so authorized by the Nigerian state, is assigned for Nigeria, and Nigeria is bound to respect its commitments to the agreement. Like I gave the example, we see how government, it is the government that has the power of coercion. Government will enter into an agreement with ASU, sign by itself a minimum wage act and refuse to obey it.
And let me tell you, sir, the program you are conducting this afternoon is binding on general manager. That's Sir Martins.
Yes.
We cannot go say, oh,
Who has
asked you to go and conduct that something? No, because he cannot approbate. If he dislikes this program, he should have told the man, please go back. I don't like this program. So he cannot come there after we have other consequential order, contract. Now we are here now, 4 o'clock. The media doesn't need to tell us, come and go your home. It's consequential that after the program, we are have to go to your home.
There is no admission letter of any university where they write that you will write exam. No. There is no admission letter where they say you must write exam. No admission. I've never seen an admission letter where they say you will write exams.
Okay. Because of our time, going forward, what lessons can Nigeria draw from all of this, especially as regarding going into agreement?
Yes, I think we have learned our lesson right now. That when any country or state or company, is trying to make an agreement, every, the personalities or the offices that are involved should be involved, and that's because, like I told you, the Ministry of Justice cannot claim ignorance about this agreement. No, because the moment you finalize agreement, you take it to your Ministry of Justice, whereby you can't take it to private lawyers in the town.
Even the lawyer in
I'll come to you. The government now should be very, very careful. They should, detect a way of monitoring their ministries of everything. If I were the president of this country now, there should be a memo that if you want to sign an agreement worth of $1 million, please, I want to see it on my team.
Yes.
I want to see the Attorney General. I want to see. So these are the corrective measures that government should take. But in a situation whereby, look, let me tell you, there are a lot of things going on wrong under any government. Some, you see, I won't mention the governor. The other time, a deputy governor employed almost 20 people. When the governor came back and said, look, you cannot do that. I have not sanctioned this. I have not agreed to this. And that is how things should be. Monitor your ministry, monitor the country if you are the president of this country, so that there should be any impunity or laxity from anywhere. So that is why I'm still saying it. That in any organization, either government, institution, or everywhere, there should be proper monitoring, so that this type of saga should not be witnessed again. Now we're a problem. I am a problem. Deji, you are a problem. All of us are a problem. Because of this because of their laxity, because of the inefficiency. So that's why I say that the government should make sure that, and if I may say this, if any agreement worth of that thing should be sent to National House of Assembly. They will debate this thing. So everybody, these are the solution. Either you send it to House of Assembly or you send it to ESCO. That's yes. So this one should be well debated, should be well constructed.
The contract never made it to the fact.
Thank you very much.
Lai Mohammed did say that much.
You see. What I say?
Lai Mohammed said it never made it to the contract never made it to effect.
You see,
all those are let me ask you, what lessons do you think we can draw from all of this?
Yes, I will perfectly agree with my Oga, Barrister Ogini, in saying that there should be a control over any agreement we are going into. And for once, we should agree. I think the government should make it a policy that for any agreement that Nigeria is entering into, the only person that should sign should be the Attorney General of the Federation, who is the Chief Law Officer. And secondly, the sanctity of handover notes should be further upheld. Look, this idea of saying my inefficiency is better than yours, because that is what we are saying now. that my own independence is better than yours. Jonathan said
that's the thing.
Yes, no, Mokri said it was Yaradua. Buhari said it was Jonathan. Jonathan said it was Buhari. Nobody is ready to. Governments everywhere in the world. Governments don't take blame. They take responsibilities. People should learn to take responsibility in this country. President should learn how to preside and not by
effectively.
Not this collegiate president of a minister having to see a chief of staff and unelected chief of staff because having access to the president. There may be some very sensitive security information that the defense minister, for example, will want to tell the president. But once you see Mr. Bakari, who may also have his own personal, we are all human beings.
Let me tell you now.
Okay. On the final note, if you preside president well, if you are a journalist well, with Nigeria.
Let me turn to Mr. Le Igbabo. What lessons, on the final note, what lessons do you think we can draw from all of this?
The lesson that we need to draw from this is that the Nigerian institutions must be strengthened. When the institution is strengthened, it does not matter whoever is governing it. For example, in America,
the system will run.
If you bring a new entity, a new couple, the system will shaping him to maintain the institution. Let me tell you this: in a situation where Barukanti and Ike Kashuku, Ike Kashuku had to say that total billionaire contract that he did not know anything about it. You know, at the end of the day, they subtract today. That was because of Baru Kandi, who was close to the corridor. So, if Nigerian institutions are not strengthened, there is nothing anybody are monitored. Let us have properly monitored.
Because of our time, this is where we draw the curtain on to this edition of the Roundtable. I want to thank Mr. Le Igbabo, social commentator, public analyst, and an accountant. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming. And Barrister Wali Abibola, thank you very much for coming.
Always my pleasure.
Barrister Morakio, thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
I'm seriously afraid again.
My name is Dwayne Danes, and this is where we end it on today's edition of the Roundtable. Thank you very much, and do join us next Monday. On for another edition of the program. Good afternoon.
From the very first time that I set my eyes on you, I didn't feel Cupid's arrow. It was no love at first sight, but I knew there was something so special about you. Baby girl, as I got to know you, you've turned this boy into a man, and my mistakes into a plan. So I never let you go. This is the woman I love. She's the center of my joy. And this is the woman I love. No one else can make me say I do. She makes me go la 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 la. She makes me go. She makes me go. No one else can make me say I do. Oh, what a gift from the Almighty God. She's so selfless and understanding. I can't explain it. Oh, she's amazing. She's no fair weather friend. I give anything just to have it live in her. So she is my shining star. And as the days go by, I found the reason why this little boy should be a man. Turn my mistakes into a plan. So I never
News breaks with the same speed.
The longest trip of the Donald Trump administration is now underway.
Not all stations can keep up. At Adaba FM, we not only give you news at the speed of nanosecond, but we also break it down with up-to-date analysis, informed opinions, and distinct professionalism. That's why you love us. Adaba 88.9 FM, your go-to station.